everybody, how the heck y'all doing today? And I should not really be, well, I guess it is still kind of sort of morning. It's 11:30 a.m. What the hell are we doing? Well, we did a little bit of choring this morning. We got hooked up to a stock trailer. I was checking registrations, and lo and behold, well, the registration that I had said that my blue stock trailer that I haul cattle with expired back in March. I'm like, holy crap, that can't be right. So I run down to the SGI office. We just left there, and they says, well, no, it shows here that you're registered until February of 2022. And I'm like, well, I don't got a freaking piece of paper that says that it's registered. And she goes, well, I can very well print you a new one. And I said, that'd be awesome. And then she tells me, can I have $15? And I'm like, what? It's a piece of paper. And she goes, SGI charges $15 for that piece of paper. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? But she just kind of giggled, and I know the girl, and she goes, I'm sorry. If you want, you can print it off at home. Yeah, well, this brain don't work at home to print that shit off. I don't know how to use that machine. So, I paid $15 and got a new piece of paper. There goes another treat, right? Anyways, what are we doing? Well, we're hooked up to Mr. Blue Trailer, and we're going to haul some more cattle. We gotta pick up a load of calves for another neighbor, Mr. Ron Bray. You guys seen us. We hauled a bunch of straw / green feed type bales for him back over the summer. And now he asked us, he phoned me up the other day and he said, Brennan, can you come and get this friggin' 15 calves and get them down to Moose Jaw? So I believe I'm going to Moose Jaw anyway, unless he changed his mind in the meantime and since he phoned me. So yeah, we're going to Moose Jaw with a load of calves for Ron Bray. So we're just on our way to his place right now. So I'll bring you all back when we get there. Talk to you guys then. Well, we're here. Get this gate open. Look, this is, I'm assuming, is how we're going to be loading, and I'm going to guess that those are the calves we're loading right there. So there's our helper. Anyway, I'm going to get backed up the rest of the way, and we'll get these guys on, and we'll be hitting the road here shortly. We'll talk to you guys in a bit. Alrighty, well, we're all loaded up. Some shark crosses. There's room for them to move around in here, so I'm not overloaded. Not making them too tight that if somebody goes down and they can't get back up, there's lots of dead space here. So I figure our average weight on the whole load is going to be about 6 1/4. Anyway, fill out the manifest and hit the road. We'll talk to you guys later. Alrighty guys, well, we're just slowing down here. Obviously, that big black building right there in the distance, what looks to be a far ways away, that's JGL's brand new facility here. They've been open now for maybe 2 years in full operation. So what's JGL stand for? Jameson Gilroy Livestock. Basically, they're a cattle buyer. And now they opened up a facility here west side of Moose Jaw, about, I don't know, 8-10 miles out of town. They'll buy direct from the farmer if you deliver them right to their site right here. So yeah, it's pretty handy. They purchase, they'll weigh them immediately and do their deductions, and you walk away with a paycheck pretty much immediately. Like, you can walk away with a paycheck that right then and there. So I like that idea, instead of having to wait for your friggin' paycheck for a week or 2 weeks. So anyway, I gotta get a gate open here and get pulled through. It's another drive-through unload spot. That white gate right in front of me. And we'll bring you guys back after. Talk to you then. Alrighty, well, we're all unloaded. I went inside. I was curious as to what these Shar-Cross guys weighed. Guys and girls. There was steers and heifers. Ron was saying he was thinking they were 700 plus, like 7 1/4. I said, I don't know. I'm thinking 6 1/4 to 630 maybe. Our average right across the board, 660 pounds. Sorry, Ron, but I win this one. I was only 35 pounds off. So now we just got to get our buns on home. It's friggin', what the hell time is it here? 2:07. So about an hour and a half drive home, and get on to something else. So we'll talk to y'all later. Well, good morning, everyone. How the heck y'all doing today? What's going on? Well, sorry I didn't bring you back last night or yesterday afternoon. When we got home from hauling calves for the neighbor, we had a quick sandwich and coffee with CP, and then we went and got our 2 horses that were at the neighbor's place, brought them home. Then we had to friggin', Little Red didn't want to start, of course, because it was like -16. And by the time I got him running, then we had to feed some calves and feed some cows, and it was just a shit show there after I got home. So, but yes, we brought the 2 boys home, and CP ain't gonna like this too much, but it's happening today. She's out in the bush hunting, and the horse that she bought back in the fall, Maggie, this little black mare, around here, guys. Doot. So Maggie here, Maggie and Tucker and Binford have never been together. And there's Maggie. The closest they've been together is in their box stalls inside the barn here. So now it's to get the other 2 guys out. I gotta clean some of the garbage out of my barn. This is ridiculous. Tuck. There you go, boy. He's home. And they're gonna run around and chase each other. And Tucker is the boss of the yard. At this point, we'll see how Maggie stands up to him. Come on, Binford. So you guys might recognize this guy from the beginning of our videos. He's in the videos. There you go. Then again, they might not argue with each other at all. They might be really good. But generally, horses will put the run on each other just like cattle do. They'll wrestle around and fight around and pick out who's the boss of the herd, so to speak. And Binford, he's the biggest, but I can pretty much guarantee you he'll be the biggest suck also. So now we got to go and get our feed bunks for the cows that we cut feed in. We got to get our feed bunks set out and get them filled up for the cattle. So let's get on to that. I'll show you guys how we feed these cattle. Talk to you then. Alrighty, guys, so yesterday morning the cows, I wanted them to clean the round bale feeders right out, get the ring cleaned right out, so I never fed them. So then last night, by the time I got Little Red here running, they were pretty goddamn hungry. Like, they were chasing me hardcore. They were on the run. So I put a little pile. I've got a bucket load of cut feed here with me right now, and you can see that spot right there. another spot there, another spot there. Along here, there's a little bit of stuff laying on the ground, not much, but that's the stuff that I brought them last night. I only brought them 2 bucket loads, not a hell of a lot, really. But you can feed this stuff on the ground, but you will have more waste. And if you're in an area where they get a lot more snow, like we can get quite a bit of snow in the winter time. There's a spot, there's a spot. They cleaned it up actually really, really good. So, but if you're trying to feed them for 2 or 3 days, you will have a ton of waste off of this stuff if you're feeding on the ground. So there's a bigger pile for them. You can see that on the ground there. Then I just back up, make another pile, and that's all I do for when I'm feeding on the ground, right? But I want to be able to feed them up for a few days, right? So we are going to be grabbing the feed bunks and moving the feed bunks and filling them. Now, 3 of my feed bunks are not portable bunks. They're somewhat portable, but they have to be empty. There's no floor in them. How's that sound? And there's no skid on them. So those style of bunks, you pick them up, you carry them to where you want to feed, you set them down, and then you fill the bunk. Work really well if you have a mix wagon. They're basically what lots of guys that build these things, they call them silage bunks. But in the spring of the year, they don't work that great because if it's mucky, then your feed is in the ground. It's sitting on the ground. The bottom half of the bunk is gonna absorb moisture from the ground, and that feed will go bad on you. And then I have another feed bunk. It's 24 feet long, if I remember correctly, by 4 feet wide. That one has a floor in it. I made it myself with a full skid, but I got to replace. It just got wood sides and a wood floor in it, and I got to replace a couple of the boards in the floor. But we're gonna grab these bunks. We're gonna move them over to where I want to be feeding the cows right now, and then we'll get them filled up, and I'll bring you guys back at that time. Alrighty, so basically, guys, all I do with the grapple is the bucket is just come into the pile, grab a big bucket load, grapple it shut, give it a jiggle so the loose ends kind of fall off, and just drive back and forth to fill my bunks, right? You got to be careful once you get to understand your ground. By doing it this way, the one thing you got to be careful on is so that you're not hitting the bumps too hard, because every time you hit a bump, you'll lose a little bit. But this is how I do it. I'm not saying this is how everybody has to do it, right? If we're out in the pasture, this is how I do it. I haven't got a feed wagon or anything like that, so this is just what I do. Yeah, it takes a little bit longer. Cost of fuel obviously is going to play a factor, but once the cows are filled up, and that generally takes about a day, 2 days of being on full ration cut feed or tub ground feed. Once they're on this cut feed for like 2 days and their bellies are filled, then I can get away with only having to fill the bunks like every third day type of thing. I don't necessarily have to come out here every day. We tend to come out here every day, at least once a day, regardless, just to check on the cows. And since I am coming out every day just to check on them, then I'll just kind of bring a bucket load if required, just to top dress a little bit. But basically, we try to let them clean the feed bunks out pretty good. And then you spend one day of filling them right up, and yahoo, all is good, right? So we'll just get over to the bunks here now. I've got them all set up in a nice straight row there. You can see that. And we're just going to use these 3 bunks for now until I get the fourth one fixed. The one with the wood floor in it and wood sides. Like I said, that bunk is probably close to 15 years old, and there's a good half dozen boards in the floor that have to be replaced and 1 board on the side. So not bad for a 15-year-old cow feeder. Anyway, that'll be a video for another day. That's not for today. So for right now, just kind of open her up a little bit and let it fall into the bunk. And make sure that you're close enough that you're getting it in the bunk and not on the friggin' ground. Or not too close that you're overshooting the bunk to the far side, right? And each bunk will basically hold about 3 bucket loads. 2 to 3 when they're needing to be filled right up. So anyway, I'll let you go and I'll bring you guys back when we're full. Talk to you then. There. So that's bucket load number 5. Like with everything, 4 buckets in these 3 bunks, 1 on the ground, and let's see how long this lasts them, right? So they're gonna stumble back and forth. The stuff that's on the ground, I guarantee there's gonna be a fair amount of waste. Now, how much did I overspill on the far side? A little bit, not bad. But this should last them for at least 2 days. And then we fill them right up full again on the 3rd day. But we'll bring you guys back out here tomorrow just to see how much they ate. Probably I'll leave them alone until, I'm gonna say, tomorrow after lunch, and just to see what the heck they do with it, right? So yeah, so that's how now everybody that was asking the question, how do you feed it? How do you feed it? Well, that's how I feed it. And to give you an up close look of bunk number 4, it's right here. It was kind of snowed in a little bit, so I took it and I grabbed it and flipped it upside down, knocked the snow out from inside of it. And so that's it right there. Well, you can see the top board right there has to be replaced. I'm gonna get in here a little closer, and you can see some of the boards on the inside are broke out, so we'll have to fix that up. But that's her. So generally, like, once we get into it hardcore here with feeding these girls this stuff, what I generally do, I'll grab a bucket load, drive out to the pasture, dump a bucket load in one of those steel feeders, come home with that bunk behind me because it's on a full-length skid, fill that bunk in the yard right here at the pile, then grab another bucket load, take it out, unchain the bunk, and then drop that bucket load into another feeder, and then it's just one more trip with basically more or less just a bucket full, right? And it seems to work pretty darn good for us. I do have another feeder, and if I want, I could, and it's on a full skid also, and I could fill it up and run it out to the cows also. But right now, I think we're just going to pass on that one for right now, and we'll see what happens, how they do with this. Anywho, I'm going to let you guys go, and we'll talk to you a little bit later.